and acting really funny today.
So far, so good.
See, it's still swirling. All right, hold on. It was still swirling. Hold on, it's doing something crazy. Hold on.
Hello, everyone.
All right, I am back. Lord have mercy. So y'all forgive the technical difficulties. So and let me just I had to get off and tell the kids to get off the bandwidth that I'm on, because and I'm sitting right here at the router, okay, just so I wouldn't have this problem. But I think Mia is working on a project. He was doing something. Tay Tay is over there playing a game. So everybody, I'm like, everybody, get on the other one so I can do this here tonight. But
No.
y'all please forgive the technical difficulties with our technology here. But we are back again with another series topic for National Mental Illness Awareness Week. And so we've been up here every day this week talking about different things that pertain to mental and emotional wellness. And tonight's topic is co-parenting 101, how to resolve your baby mama daddy drama. Okay? Because it's apparent that some of y'all are having some issues. And it's unfortunate, and we need to take into account all that's involved other than ourselves. We're not the only people involved when we're talking about co-parenting. We can't forget about the children, okay? And so the reason we're talking about, because someone said, what does co-parenting have to do with mental illness and emotional illness? Everything, especially when you have children involved. It
Yep.
means everything, because the way you co-parent, it's one thing when you're in a relationship and the kids are used to seeing you together, and now y'all are apart. That's a traumatic experience right there. So when you add co-parenting to the mix, and it's not a healthy co-parenting situation, you add fuel to the fire, meaning you start to mess with that child's mental and emotional abilities. Yep. And you start to mentally and emotionally cripple that kid. And that's not what you want to do. Because if it happens, it's going to be you to blame. You're going to be at fault for that. And so then at the end, what's going to happen is when they become adults, somebody's going to say the same thing to them that we're about to say to you tonight. Fix yourself before you go into these relationships a broken person.
Yep. That's the best advice I can give.
That's why this topic is important, and that's why it has a lot to do with emotional and mental health, because it takes a toll on it, whether we believe it or not. And so, I often talk about, my own personal situation, but unlike mine, there are people who are having a difficult time. And they're having a difficult time, one, because it's still fresh and new. Two, because you're still trying to get through your own emotional feelings towards that other person. and you're
I think
working.
Valencia's on because she asked if we saw her.
Yeah. Her. It
Oh,
says device is not connected. So I can't like bring her on for some reason, but I see her name. I see the young lady we were talking to last night. I've been talking to her throughout the day. I'll have to share the information with you, but she reached out and she reached, honey. So
good.
good for her, and I can't wait to talk more with her. Don't want to, push too hard. Just kind of going with her flow, which is important. So, but she's grateful and she's shared a lot,
Good.
and I think we will be able to offer her what she needs. I really do believe that. But back to tonight's topic of co-parenting. Let me just first go back and give. My name is Nakikia Wilson, aka Coach Keep It Moving, and tonight I have Shana Williams, Dr. Shana Williams. She's a nurse practitioner and mental health clinician. Her input is valuable because she has the clinical piece to offer, whereas I am just the emotional and coach portion of that, the extended piece to what her job is and her profession is. So that's why we're both here. She's been here with me all week. Thank you so very much. And I'm hoping we'll be able to do a whole lot more of these.
I think we should definitely start it. Yep.
These are important, and they're so, when technology works well, it's so convenient. You can reach so many people just using technology. You can meet, the young lady we were talking to last night is in Milwaukee. How about that?
Wow.
Right. So that's why this platform is important. We're not just reaching people right here or surrounding. We're reaching people across the nation. So that is I'm grateful for that, and I give my Lord thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the ability, the partnerships, and everything to make this thing happen because it's very important. So if any of you if you're listening and you have questions about what we're talking about tonight, please type your questions in. If you want to throw out a statement or something, please put that in as well. We'll do our best to read them as we go along.
Valencia needs the link again.
Say that again.
Valencia needs the link again.
What? I didn't hear what you said.
She needs that link from you. She needs you to resend her the link.
Okay, I will do that. I will do that right now. So since y'all can still pretty much see me, you don't necessarily see what I'm doing. Hey, hold on. So, all right, there it is, sweetheart. So back here. So yeah. So listen, we know, when we go into relationships, when we go in, they're fresh and new, we having fun, and you getting to know each other, and you're in love, and you lovey-dovey, and you have things in common, and you in the beginning can't see yourself without that person you're with, and everything is going well, but then things happen, life happens, conflicts come about, and it's not the conflicts themselves that breaks a relationship. It's the reactions to the conflict. It's the response to the conflicts that make people say, I can't. Either that's because it's an emotional thing going on, or there's a mental thing going on, and there's something that keeps you saying, I can't do this. And that has a lot to do with it. So sometimes when a relationship ends, there is some type of conflict relief. However, the problem comes in when we have children involved, and then you find yourself, oh well, gosh, I still have to communicate with this person. I still have to have some type of relationship with this individual because we have a child involved, or we have children involved. And so you find that the conflict from the relationship is spilling over into your co-parenting relationship or their lack thereof.
Right.
And so it's important that we talk about that, because we have to understand we're going through something mental and emotional as well, but we got to remember the children. We got to remember the kids. And sometimes we have to be adult enough, mature enough to put our own personal feelings aside to make sure that the person that we brought in this world has a better chance at being a mental and emotionally strong individual. Mm-hmm. We don't want our children going into relationships broken and fragile and having a whole lot of baggage. The world is going to give them enough stress as it is. We don't want to be negative examples of relationships and how they work, because it's just going to mess them up in the future. And so when I hear people talk about their ex-significant other, and it could be the negative names that they call them. It could. I'm just saying in all fairness. And I'm going to give you an example, because one of my things is this. I want to communicate. That's one of my things. And so when I'm looking, if I'm talking to someone different and I'm getting to know this person, one of my questions to them, especially if they come in and have kids, well, how is your relationship, one, with your children? And how is your relationship with the mother or the mothers in some cases? And if I get a negative response like, it's crazy, I'm going to become alert. But I'm not going to run just yet. But I'm going to ask a question. So why is this person a B? Because this, that, and the other. And she don't let me see my kids. And she always asking me for money, but she don't let me see my kids. And then my next question is, what are you doing about that? What are you doing to contribute to her negative attitude? Like, where's your accountability? She may be a B, but what is your role in her responding to you the way that she is? Exactly. And I'm not saying it's a good excuse. My thing is, I'm listening for accountability. I hear a lot of pointing the finger and blaming, but I never hear accountability. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always their fault. And this person getting involved. And she always asking her friends, or she always asking her mama, or he's a baby mama, or a mama's boy, or it's always somebody else's fault as to why we are not the people we need to be for our children. I'm gonna let you, because I'll keep right on talking, and it'll be over before you be sat there looking like, was she gonna let me talk? I'm hush up. No. Because I'm sure you've dealt with. Go ahead and let you do your thing. Go ahead, because we know.
I think oftentimes
be trans. Like, what's going on? We breaking up. We doing something. Okay, you back?
I'm back. I think I am.
Okay, I hear you.
Okay.
See, we just gonna let the devil know he a lie, cause see, he know we as a culture need this information, and we need to hear this information. So last night was all wonderful. It was good, right? No problems at all. Now it want to buffer, it want to do all kind of devil get back, because we got to inform our people of some stuff. And let me just say, I'm gonna be transparent with my stuff. I'm gonna just keep it real with you, honey. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna be transparent, because I'm a co-parent. So I know what I'm doing and what we're doing is working for us. So everybody's gonna have to find a system that works for them. So in the meantime, I'm gonna let Doc say some stuff while I just keep right on rattling off at the mouth.
Well, I think the number one thing that oftentimes people forget is that when you divorce, when you separate, your kids have this emotional response to it that you may get misbehavior, you may get anger, you may get crying, you may get just different things, and it may not necessarily be towards both parents. And so I think that one thing that is very important is when you are talking about separating, divorcing, that you're able to keep the main thing the main thing. Like your priority should be your child.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that one of the other parents can't, move on with their life or do anything like that. But when you're talking about co-parenting, co-parenting is making sure that you are keeping your child the main thing in the whole thing. And as you're co-parenting, it's a balance between I'm mom, he's dad. This is the way that things are going to be. This is where we're going to switch off. This is where you're going to go. But
Right.
also giving that child the room to also express themselves because they're just as frustrated as we are as adults. Like, we can't figure out our own stuff.
Right.
I can't imagine what it's like for them. And for them to be like, okay, I went from a 2-parent household, especially if
Mm-hmm.
they're old enough.
Right.
I grew up with my 2 parents. We laughed together. We cried together. We did all this stuff together. And now I'm going from one parent's house to the next parent's house week to week. Every week I got to pack up my stuff, make sure that I don't
Mm-hmm.
forget this, make sure I don't forget that. And in the midst of co-parenting is really understanding what co-parenting means and if you want to co-parent or if you want to parallel parent.
There is a difference.
And I would like for you, Nakikia, to give us if you have it, the
I,
difference between.
from the top of from what I've read and researched on it, parallel parenting is slightly different from co-parenting in the fact of how y'all. There is no direct communication. There is no direct. You don't talk to him. He don't talk to you. You communicate via email, text message, or whenever y'all decide how y'all going to exchange the kid, you make sure you put the information in the bag for whatever information that parent needs to know for the kid. It's a hands-off parent. The parents have no communication at all. It's strictly about the child. Co-parenting is, for example, my ex-husband came over here last night to bring our 16-year-old her cake that she wanted and her present. We see each other a lot. We exchange the kids face to face. We talk directly. We text and we talk on the phone and we do that kind of thing. There is a directness about.
But it's also this balance of, hey, I got this going on, you have this going on. Who's going to this doctor's appointment? Who's doing this? Are this needs to be covered? Who's covering this? It's a balance in co-parenting. And there are some people that are mature enough to do that, and there are some people that need to know the definition and the difference between co-parent and parallel parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think some people
so
think
you have
it's
to
like,
figure
oh,
out which one of those work.
Say it again.
I'm sorry.
Say that. No, say what you said.
Because you froze on me. I'm like, what happened to her? But yeah, the people involved in the parents of this child, guardians or whatever, of these children, have to decide which combination works best for them. Parallel parenting, which sounds like some of y'all need. Y'all don't need no contact with that other parent at all. The way y'all act. Some of y'all are still very. I'm not going there right now because it just upsets me when I hear that people arguing and fighting and doing all kinds of stuff in front of the kids when they're trying to. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, you have to figure out what's best for you. Parallel parenting, hands off. the parents don't have anything to do with each other, other than making sure that child is taken care of. Y'all don't have to, discuss nothing. It's all you have a mediator in essence, versus co-parenting where you actually work as a team. If you can't be a team player with your ex, co-parenting is not for you. If
and
every
you
time
can't define it as co-parenting.
you can't define
Excuse
it as
me, you
co-parenting,
can, but it's not gonna work.
and then it's not co-parenting. It's a hot mess,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're damaging your children.
Mm-hmm.
That's what baffles me. Is like I think about my kids. Like I know my attitude, and I know how my ex thinks, and not just in a negative way, but I just know how he responds to stuff. So I have to watch how I approach him. I have to watch how I answer. And not that I'm walking on eggshells. I just don't want there to be any miscommunication or misunderstanding. And so I know that part is a challenge for him when it comes to me, because I'm blunt, and I could be brash, and I could be like, nigga, what? And that'd be, but I can't respond like that to him, because it'll just, the whole energy will become negative, and I don't want to be the cause of that. So I just try to make sure, I was like, okay, well, let me think about that. Or because he knows me very well, he know I'll forget. I will forget something, or an appointment, anything in a minute. So he'll remind me, don't forget that you got to take the kids to the doctor today. So, but that's because he know me. I'm always doing something I'll forget.
But that's finding your strengths within co-parenting, identifying those strengths within co-parenting, and knowing that, hey, I know she gonna forget.
Yep. And
let me send that quick text. Let me call. Hey, so and so got this doctor's appointment today. You said you was gonna take them. Da 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 da. And that's the other piece, is like co-parenting. You also have to think about finances as well. I think a lot of people don't think about, when you're co-parenting, it doesn't mean that one parent specifically is covering every single thing. Like, you also have to think about, in co-parenting, we're working together as a team. That involves all aspects of our child.
Right. And
our children.
So and that's something that Michael and I have, we because a lot of people do want child support and all that kind of. Michael and I don't do that. We did, when we separated with it. That was in our separation agreement. Everything that was in our separation.
Honestly, sometimes that's just not. It's not necessary.
It's not,
because it's like you're causing one other parent a hardship. And I know most people are like, oh no, child support is for the kid. Da, da, da. That is, but I have seen it to where I have met some really great dads that have tried really, really hard. Right. I've met some really great moms that are trying really, really hard. They're on this child support order. And I mean, yes, but it's just that it's almost as if like some child support orders, these people can't live.
Yeah.
If you're having, $700 a month taken out of your, your check, and your rent is this, that is like not negotiable. Child support is child support. They're going to take that from you. And so, I think if you could have that conversation and really avoid that, I think it's great. But then there's just some people that just don't want to do what they need to do, and it's a necessary evil. But again, I think folks forget that child support is for the child.
It's definitely supposed to be the care for the child. And I do realize and recognize that there are a lot of parents, male or female, who aren't doing their due diligence. But there are parents who are doing the very best that they can, but that other parent is still trying to get back or make life difficult for that person, because they are still emotionally like bound, like they still have some emotional resentments or whatever. So they're using that to hurt the other parent. And that's where immaturity comes in. Because
Right.
if you have the parent doing what they're supposed to do, then stop acting foolish. Stop. Use and there are a lot of people who use the children as pawns, both male and female.
Yes.
And I think it's
Yes.
ridiculous.
Yes.
Children are not objects. Children are human beings. They deserve to have the best quality of life. And for parents to be using kids as pawn or as means to get money and checks, you are a sorry excuse for a parent. And you should not have children because that is going to damage your children in the long run. And you reap what you sow. Remember that. You reap what you sow. But in co-parenting, a lot of times when the parents aren't getting along, there's some things that are going on and taking place. There's a lack of consistency. There's a power struggle. There is a lot of unhealthy communication. There is some resentment being displayed, some jealousy,
Mm-hmm.
and oftentimes they're not, there are conditions placed on whether or not you'll get support for that child or not. There again, you're using that child as a pawn to get back at that parent, but you're not thinking about the needs, the emotional needs, the mental needs, the physical needs of that child, because you're too busy in your own personal emotional crap trying to get back at the other parent, or
Or
still
just
harboring
not
feelings.
having the hard discussions. Like, I think one lesson that even I've learned is like you literally have to talk about every single solitary thing. So it's on from how are we disciplining our child? What are the routines that we're going to have at our house? Are they going to have chores? If one of us decides to date, how does that go? How
Right.
long are we going to go before this person meets our child?
That's right.
How long, how does our child feel about meeting somebody else? Are they confused? Are they this? Are they that? And really understanding, that with co-parenting, you literally have to talk about every single solitary situation that could come up.
And it's not just about, you have to communicate those things, and you have to actively listen
Mm-hmm.
to what is being said. You have to actively listen, not to just respond, but to kind of understand where the other person is coming from and come to a compromise. Because we want our children to grow up to be healthy and not the emotional basket cases that we grew up and,
Right.
and grew up and then brought into our adult life. We don't want that. The cycle has to stop somewhere. So why not you do the hard work so life can be easier for your child later? You don't want your son or daughter growing up to have that same emotional baggage and be mentally broken like you were. You don't want to think about that. But you're right. People don't have the proper they don't take the time to sit down and talk about, after the fact. Because sometimes you might need to talk about this stuff before you have a relationship. The relationship becomes serious. Like, what are you looking for in a committed relationship? If that's what you want, how do you see yourself raising your children? What are your disciplinary strategies? How do you feel about certain situations? Just have, like you said, those hard conversations, and then a lot of that will eliminate the conflicts in many of the relationships in the first place. And then if it does come to an end for some odd reason, then you still won't be all bitter and angry with each other. You'll amicably depart, yet still be able to work with your child in a team partnership. So as for me, I don't know how, if you want to go into it. So because I know we're in the group speaking about certain things, but we're both Um, our co-parenting situations are different. Um, what's been? Do you want to discuss it, or we want to wait a little later? Are you are you muted, girl? If you don't unmute yourself, Oh wait, I can't hear you. Mm-mm. Can't unmute your guest because you're muted, honey. Let me take you out and bring you back in because I can't hear you. All right, so I'm gonna try to bring her back in to into the live. Let's see. Nope. No, I don't know what's going on. Okay. So we have another young lady also trying to get in on the conversation, and we've been having a lot of technical difficulties tonight. And I'm glad that it's not just me or Shayna. I don't know if it's a system-wide thing that's going on, but we are really having some issues tonight. So we're gonna see if she'll come back, and we'll try to get her back in. Hey, cousin Pam, how are you? I hope you're doing well today too. Thanks for joining us, honey. We're talking about co-parenting 101. The young lady that I have on tonight, her name is Shayna, and we are discussing what it looks like, what it should look like to co-parent, and what is not co-parenting. So here she bring her back in.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. I don't know, girl, what's going on your side?
I don't know either, because
Oh, so I was asking if you wanted to share your perspective on co-parenting. I just wanted to make sure I asked before.
no,
I
I don't mind.
okay. I just want to make sure
I
because
don't
I don't
mind.
want to violate anybody's privacy. But the reason I'm asking is because your situation is quite different from mine, which is why we really began connecting a little bit more um, on an emotional support level because your clinical part is you have the knowledge, but when you're going through it yourself as a practitioner, when
Mm-hmm.
you're going through it yourself, realistically, you know what you should do, but your head and your heart are not
Say
connected.
two different things.
And we realize that. So, what is your experience, good or bad, with co-parenting?
So I would say that my experience has shifted um, kind of different places at different times.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are there are times where everything is fine and communication is great. And then there are times where it is quite difficult, or our son is having like an emotional issue, and it's related to maybe the lack of communication or lack of accountability, or a communication or misunderstanding. Um, and I think that in the past 2 years of co-parenting through a separation and divorce, as well as other, health issues, our son has been through a lot. And as a practitioner, you see things that kind of play themselves out, but then at the same time, you're like, hey, this is my kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to handle it. I don't know where to put it. But also not trying to overreact to the things that occur, um, and or the lack of things that occur, or the lack of forethought on either parent side. Um, and I think sometimes as parents, we we try to recognize where our kid is, but we don't like always officially know
Mm-hmm.
until they have like either an angry outburst, or I didn't realize that you two weren't getting back together, or I'm confused about you two not getting back together,
Mm-hmm.
or even if things play out in a not so great way and your kid sees those things and they say to you, well, I don't have to respect you because mommy or daddy doesn't respect you. And it turns co-parenting into this weird space because then you as parents are trying to get yourselves emotionally together, but also trying to make sure that you're showing this kid the example of what you're saying. Because you can say, mommy and daddy love you very much, but the kid may see mommy and daddy like not having such a good experience with each other and going, well,
Mm-hmm.
shoot, mommy doesn't listen unless daddy's yelling at her. Or one parent saying like, this is not what's really happening. You're saying that things are, you know, this is out of proportion. You're putting things into the kid's head, and it just gets really sticky and really ugly all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I've even seen this play out in other people's lives where one parent decides to move on sooner than the other, and where one parent's like, hey, I'm ready to introduce this person to my kid, and the other parent's like, well, wait a minute.
Right.
Whoa, yes, that's great, but I don't know if our kid is ready for that. And being able as two parents to respect where one parent may see some things that the other parent is not seeing, and being like, you know what, okay, maybe now is not the right time for that. Because I know just from my clinical aspect and from seeing kids who parents have significant others, or whose parents have divorced and the parent is now dating somebody new, the kid starts to feel left out.
Mm-hmm.
The kids start to notice a change in the parent's behavior. Whereas,
Mm-hmm.
oh, if the parent used to call or the parent used to text a lot, they may not do that as much. I mean, I had one kid in my office last week. His mom started dating this new guy, and the new guy basically was like, I don't like the way that you talk to your mom. I don't like this. I don't like that. And he just met the kid. And the kid was like, so what is my mom telling you about me?
Mm.
What does he know about me, mom, that I don't know about him? I'm just meeting him and he's telling me I'm a rude kid,
Mm.
and he's gonna come in and this, that, and the third, and da 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 da. And I mean, and the kid was going off. He was going off.
There's some validity to what he was saying. We have to be
And
careful about that.
and the bad part about it was is that his mom had only been dating the man for about 3 months.
See.
Did not realize that the man was going to say this to her child. Did not know the man had said this to her child, and now was completely mortified because her child didn't want to talk to her, had nothing to say to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't know why. She goes, all of a sudden he just stopped talking to me and I don't understand what's going on. Ma'am, it's your boo.
Your new boo is who is messing up your relationship, and you have to be careful. You know, we Michael and I have been divorced almost 2 years now, and neither one of us are dating right now. I don't know if he's dating right now at all. I know I'm not. I don't think he is, but it doesn't matter. Our thing is, I say that I'm not trying to be rude. I mean, I'm not all up in his beeswax
Well,
like
but
that.
that's the thing. It's like you're not all up in their business, and it's like you don't really. It's like, okay, if you want to date, fine. I don't
Okay.
care.
But here's my thing to say is I know and trust him well enough that he ain't even trying to, because he knows how his oldest daughter is. Me ain't having it right now. With her daddy, me, she want me to go ahead and move on. But her daddy, she ain't trying to hear that.
She's a
Move
daddy's
on
girl.
with who? Who is it? That is not mama. Now, mama can move on, but you, on the other hand, now I know that's a double standard, but that's just how I know she thinks, and he knows that's how she would think. My little girl don't want neither one of us to move on without the other. That's just
Oh,
how she is. I mean, and I get that. I would never introduce my kids to some dude that I'm just casually dating. You ain't gonna know he when y'all with y'all daddy. That's when I date. You ain't gonna probably won't ever see him because it's not. For me, it's not proper. Mentally, it's confusing, especially if it doesn't work out. And then I start, what if I start dating somebody else? And well, you were just dating John. Now you got Jack. So I don't understand. And I don't want that. I don't want that mindset to be placed in my children that you just date this person and that person. And this, you know what I'm saying? You just, and it doesn't always have to be a sexual thing. I just want consistency and structure in my children's lives.
right.
Like, I don't want them to think that, we just going out here dating every Tom, Dick, and Harry on earth. No. Because I have to worry about their safety.
Well,
too.
and believe it or not, that's what we talked about last night, where we talked about this psychological trauma and people bringing in new people to their children's lives, those new people doing things that they
Let
shouldn't
me
be
get,
doing.
yeah, let me, because I see Valencia. Now,
We ready?
need to get some pen and paper, because, she be ready to drop some stuff. Where my pen go? This you do realize that you are now a part of this trio.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even ask you if you wanted to be a part of the trio.
I know you did. That's why I said, oh, okay.
Because you
The
this
champ is
right
here.
dynamic, this whole atmosphere right here, yeah, I love it. I'm gonna be ready to make more videos or something. We got to get back online and talk about some stuff, just anything. But how are you today? We missed you last night.
I'm great. I had some things going on. I had to.
It's okay.
Take care of
stuff. Okay. We get it. But we go.
People want to put. See, people want you to come out and play, but then when that mask come off, they get scared. Don't get scared.
Oh, okay. So because Valencia ain't scared. Lord have mercy, you done been through so much, and then you being scared. Put your dukes up, right? So
Geico.
We're talking about co-parenting and stuff like that. What's your take? Uh-oh. Let me get where my pen go. Oh, here it is.
So just to fill you in, I was talking about how there's so many details to co-parenting and how some people assume that co-parenting is not its full definition, and they're actually parallel parenting.
Okay.
And that some parents need to keep in mind the child is first, and their child should be thought of first, and not saying that they cannot date, they cannot move on with their lives, but they have to recognize who they're bringing into their child's life and making sure that they know them.
Right. Huh? What's that face for?
Because I don't have that luxury, but I have friends that go through it. When it comes to co-parenting, it has to be for me, an even playing field. Sometimes the parents can't even tell the children or have that respect for their children because they don't even have respect for themselves and whoever they bringing in. So, I have people that I've met that have children, but he gonna do what I say, or he ain't gonna get to see his daughter. Why are you playing games like that? Men do it too.
Yeah, men and women do it.
Exactly.
It's on both. Exactly. It's on both sides of the field.
Exactly.
I do understand the fact that you don't want to break up a home for a child to cause more friction, but I think a lot of people tend to forget. Like if a child's at a certain age, they see more of the pain than what you're trying to display. So it has to come into a play where either y'all gonna grow up or shut up.
Well, what's going to happen is if they don't grow up and they're still displaying these toxic behaviors in front of their child, guess what's going to happen? Those toxic behaviors are going to become toxic behaviors that those children display in their relationships, whether they be personal or professional.
Yeah, it's true. That's why with my son, um, whoever he was, I don't know who he is. I never, even though we had some, I never tried to use that situation to keep him locked down because I knew what it was. He knew what it was. We just got. I mean, it is what it is. But at the same given time, all I'm asking you to do is, I need you just to be there to be a father.
Right.
Because I can't raise a man.
Right. Exactly.
But he didn't. God put different angels in my life to help me with my son. My son has a 3.0 average. He's very mild mannered. He's But I mean, I'm saying all that is the fact is why you have women out here that I have watched how they have bootlegged these men. Well, he don't get to see his child. He gonna give me this money, or I'm gonna keep the child.
That. I have heard that too.
It's why are you doing that? Like, why are you doing that?
People who just keep having kids,
right?
Just so they can get a child. Are you freaking serious right now? Like you are not doing any harm to anybody but these babies. You having one kid after the next kid, and ain't all
just because you can get pregnant, and now no disrespect to whoever listens to this, just because you get pregnant does not mean that you should be a mother.
And bam,
and
in the face with a can of mace.
So just because you can squat and pee at the same time don't mean that you're supposed to be able to drop a baby and be okay with it, and that don't keep no man.
And listen,
and it don't keep a woman.
And in all fairness, when you are doing that, when you are displaying that type of behavior, when you feel like, oh, if I have a kid, I'll be able to keep them. That shows lack of self-esteem. That shows lack of self-love. That shows disrespect for your own self and your body. Your body is supposed to be a temple. We don't always treat it like a temple, whether it's through sex or food or drinking, whatever. Because, I mean, I like to eat. Now, I know my body's a temple, but I like to eat. But I'm just saying, either way, you're treating you're doing yourself a disservice. And then you have the nerve, as my dad would say, you have the mediated gall to bring a baby or babies into your toxic situation. And then you expect them to grow up to be civilized people. The apple don't fall too far from the tree. So whatever behaviors you display, they're going to display those same behaviors unless you break the freaking cycle.
Well, and that is I honestly would like to say, in this day and age, if I didn't have my son, I wouldn't have had nothing, because you have these parents that are killing their kids, and then the women are dating all kinds of men that are killing their kids. I just was reading, there was a gentleman, because the girlfriend didn't want to be with him anymore, so he killed the baby and killed her. And I mean, it's like, what? What? It's like you're using these kids as sacrifice. You're sacrificing your kids through all this BS when it's not even necessary. Mm-hmm. And if you want to, you could be okay. How they say, you could be a father. Or you could be a father. You could be a father.
You could be a father.
Because look, you can be a father, and then once you drop that low, this is what they'll say.
That was easy.
Okay. Or you can be.
She was ready to get us tonight. She was ready. She was ready for that. See?
I mean, my thing is this. It goes on both sides of the fence. My thing is, if you want to be treated like an adult, act and such. When do we grow up? Just because you have the age, the numbers for your age does not mean that's how you act.
Exactly.
So all I'm saying is, that's the thing. But from what I've been seeing, a lot of people making it more messy than what it needs to be.
Oh.
And and the men that don't want to step up, just as well as the mothers, this is the time where you need to like tighten your bootstraps up and get a grip, because the way things are going these days, these children need their parents.
Or really just like, being like, you know what,
The love.
the battle's not worth it. Let me just take
Right.
a step back. Let you do
Right.
you.
Just like right. Do you, whatever the case may be, because you have some men that not even the father of the kids that are better fathers than the fathers that put that in there.
Right.
Say so.
See?
We go ahead and get us a button now. We got to go to stations to get us a button now. So we can all do it at the same time. So we can just hit the button. We got to go get us one now.
But
Yeah.
I just think it's so sad because I see a lot of kids and teenagers that are just mad and just.
And they don't really know why they're mad either. They just
that's
know
the
that
thing.
they are mad.
And that's the thing. And the parents are like, "Oh my God, like what did
I
I
don't know
do
what's wrong with them. They're acting so stupid.
And the kid is going, "I know what's wrong.
You.
She gets on my nerves, or this happens, or like I said, one parent finds a significant other, and and I just cannot stop thinking about that kid. He really felt like his mom just like
Threw him under the bus.
He felt like they had this kind of relationship, and he felt like when she told her new boo about him and his behavior, it just made their relationship like this. He felt betrayed. He felt hurt. He felt angry.
Mm-hmm.
And here she is. She goes, "I really like this guy and I want to date him." And da 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 da. Yeah, but you just told him all this stuff about your kid.
But that don't mean you need to open your mouth about what's going on. Let that man get in there.
Now, what does that say about you as a parent? You spilling all the bad stuff about your kid, but I'm gonna look at you like, So,
but then it's a horrible thing, because now her relationship with her son, she's asking me to repair that, and I can't do that.
No, you can't repair that.
You can only show her you can give different perspectives, but she's gonna have to do the work with that. And the kid, they're gonna both have to work together to repair it. And it may take some time. I could say and I'm gonna give a different perspective on, because when we see scenarios like this, we normally see the father's not there, or the mother is in the relationship like a little boy type thing. Mm-hmm. My dad raised me and my brother, so my mother wasn't there. Okay. So I grew up without my mom. My dad had his girlfriend, who he had been dating forever and ever since I was like 5. So it was long relationship and stuff like that, but it wasn't always easy, because you got to be careful of that significant other trying to tear that parent-child bond for their own selfish reasons. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I can relate to what that little boy was probably going through, because when I felt like I can talk to my dad, he'd go and tell her, and then she'll egg him on, and then he'd come back, he'd be all just the whole mindset. But you told me I could talk about anything. Why are you mad? Why you calling me names all of a sudden? Well, I done talked to and I'm like, when he would say I had to talk to such and such, I'm like, oh hell, there it goes. So then I don't trust talking to you anymore, and that did. So I really needed guidance that I did not get as a kid, because my parents had their own issues, and they weren't together. And I was, you said the little boy was angry. I was angry. It was a mess trying to figure out your worth as a teenager.
Well, and the thing is that like in this kid's case, his dad is very involved.
That's
Good. And his dad is, like his dad is telling him, well, that's like not like how your mom meant it. That's, she probably was just really frustrated. And he's like, so are you defending her? Because then I'm not going to talk to you either. And the poor dad is trying to help and really like stick with, kind of help out mom and be like, well, this is, but that the child, he is, and I need to stop saying child, he's a teenager, but he is just, what he and I talk about. And I always have to tell mom, he has to trust somebody. So there's a piece of it. If he's not in danger and not endangering you, I don't discuss with her, because he feels like he has to trust somebody. And it's a sad case. And I feel bad that here I am as his provider going, hey, you really have to think about where you want to put this anger. Like, are you willing to forgive your mom? Are you willing to have this hard? It's going to be a hard discussion to have with her. And, for mom, it's like I bring mom in. She's in tears. The kid leaves. I don't want to deal with her, and she's just like, I don't know what to do, because am I not supposed to have a life? And it's like, you can have a life, mom, but
don't be spilling all the beans, especially if it's negative.
Like if this dude, if you knew that this dude couldn't keep his mouth shut and he was like all enraged about stuff, like you may have wanted to kind of tailor some of the stuff that you told him, or make sure that he's not going to talk to your kid like that.
Right.
So then her and dad had to come in and have a session with me, because then her and dad had to have the hard discussion of, okay, now we're co-parenting, and dad, he's dating, but this kid has no idea that dad is dating.
Mm-hmm.
Dad hasn't involved this woman in any aspect in his child's life at all.
And the
kid's going, dad ain't dating. I'm like, well, dad's dating.
Dad's dating hard, ain't he? But dad is doing it pretty much the right way for the health, the mental and emotional health of the child. Now, nobody's saying no, you can't date, but don't be trying to drag your kids all in this stuff, and you don't even know if you're gonna make it in the relationship or not, because it's new. You seeing somebody for a month or 3 months or 4 months, it's not long enough, depending on the dynamic of that parent co-parenting situation. You got to know the mentality of your kids and what they are ready for, what they're not ready for. I have 3 kids, and they all at different levels of readiness for each parent. Like the big one, she ain't trying to see her daddy with nobody else right now. Nobody. Mommy, go on about your business. You need to get your sugar daddy. That's what she tell me all the time. Well, why he got to be sugar? And I don't get it. But she want me to move on. To benefit her, I guess. I don't know. But my little one is like, neither one of y'all can do nothing until I'm out of this house. So it's just a different.
But that's my little one. My little one is like, I grew up with y'all. We ride together. He sounds like Bad Boys for Life, because he's like, we ride together, we cry together. We Team Williams for life.
Yeah.
Like this ain't supposed to be going this way.
Yeah.
But like I said, but I think for me, that teenager then takes me back and go, okay, what do I need to do to not necessarily either repair the relationship or repair the co-parenting relationship, but like, what do I need to do to make the co-parenting relationship a little bit smoother? Is there something that I can calm down about? Is there something that that I could just be like, you know what? It is what it is. This is what it's gonna be. I'm not gonna fuss about it. We ain't gonna disturb our peace. Our child is more important. Let's just let him relax and this kind of thing. Because even dad is asking like this mom, hey, do you want him to come live with me for a little bit? Mm-hmm. So that you can feel like, you can have a break or you can. And again, like I said, this father is
Right.
very, very involved. He's very concerned about his son. He's very concerned about his son's anger. And
So,
he's like, I don't know how to fix it. He said, but I'm willing to do whatever I need to do so that my son isn't mad at his mother, so that this doesn't turn into this thing where he does certain things with women because he's angry at his mother.
oh wow, yep. And
Yeah,
that
And
could,
because
he said that, and I went,
that happens a lot where people end up treating their partners the way they saw how things were treated, how their parents would, did things. Because it's like you're paying them back, but you're really not. You think you're paying them back, but you're not.
mm-hmm.
You're hurting yourself more than you're hurting them. And I mean, I get it, I understand, but I mean, as long as the father is willing, like, but the thing is, I think you just have to pick it up where it is and just work through it piece by piece versus trying to go back
Mm-hmm.
so much on trying to fix the past, but you haven't dealt with the future part. So I think you just have to deal with it where it is at that moment and say, okay, let's work right here today.
mm-hmm.
And then, because some of that stuff might fall into, you know what I mean? But if you keep trying to go back and can't do that, it's already in the head. You got to start from that day so you can have a better grip, I guess.
Well, the thing,
But
when I think about it, I think that we spend so much time looking back at things that happened
Mm-hmm.
that we can't be in the
Mhm.
present moment,
Mm-hmm.
nor can we visualize our future because we're still so stuck at the shoulda, coulda, wouldas,
Mm-hmm.
not able to move forward,
Mm-hmm.
move on,
Right.
move forward. We then take that baggage from our childhood relationships with our parents or the lack thereof, and we bring them. It travels with our. They go through us through our whole entire life into adulthood, and then we become toxic adults, and then we
Mm-hmm.
become products of the toxic environment
Mm-hmm.
that we grew up in. And the thing is, once we realize, if we take the time to recognize why we hurt the way we hurt, what triggers that hurt and that pain, then we have to find a way to heal from that. I talked about this last night and night before last about how many of us spend so much time dealing with pain and not working to heal from the pain. And a lot of us in the Black community, all other communities too, but particularly in the Black community, we're dealing and not working on our healing. We rather sit there and work, go through the motions, and then our quality of life is all jacked up. And then we deflect all that negative energy and toxic behaviors onto our offspring. And then what happens, our offsprings grow up to be the same toxic individuals, if not worse, because times change, things evolve. They may become worse individuals than we are. And then they grow up to have kids, and then they have toxic. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that we take the time, if we are in, before we go into really serious relationships now, so that they won't end up being co-parenting situations, or if they do become co-parenting situations, you'll know how to respond. You'll know how to act. You'll know how to be for the betterment of the children involved. We don't take time to look at ourselves in the mirror. We don't take time to get to know ourselves as who we are right now and who we want to be. We don't spend time on our own personal development. And so we continue those negative trends. We got to stop, be in the present moment, and stop living in the past. And I know I'm guilty of living in the past before. I'm guilty of looking back on the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I'm
Mhm.
guilty of pointing the finger and blaming and deflecting and projecting. I'm guilty of internalizing. I'm guilty of all those things because I felt that sense of abandonment and rejection because my mom wasn't there. So my thing was, you chose the pipe over me. You chose that man over me. So I mean,
Right.
I just like to feel not wanted as a kid and growing up in these teenagers. Like I needed somebody to show me how to do makeup. I needed somebody to talk to me about my womanhood. I felt like that's what I would have needed my mother. But okay, so it didn't happen. So now as an adult, it's my turn to make it right. It's my turn to be a good parent. It's my turn I have to do those things that my parents didn't do. That's my
But you
job.
also have to want something different.
You
Like,
do.
you have
It's
to
a
want it
choice.
to be different.
You have to make the choice. You
I gotta get off.
with that darn button. I'm telling you, we're going to get us an easy button now. We got to go to Staples. I'm about to get on Amazon now and see where I can find one. But yeah, but see, it's easier said than done. I say that, but it wasn't hard. It wasn't easy. It was not easy. But I wanted something so badly that I was willing to do whatever. I would read anything emotionally and mentally. I'm like, what do I really want? What's my love language? What is it I need? I just want to be I wanted to feel better in my spirit. My spirit was broken. And a lot of us have broken spirits.
Yep.
Now we got to do something about that. Otherwise, we're going to have unsuccessful co-parenting situations all the time.
It ain't whole TV. Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. You all right over there?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
my place son, he leaving. No.
Oh, okay. So
I apologize.
yeah, I don't know. So you are the clinician, and so as a clinician, especially with the situation or the example that you gave, there's really when you have a situation like that, and you feel like as a clinician, there's really nothing you can do because it's not a medical diagnosis there. Or in that situation, do you see where there could be some clinical diagnosis that could be playing a part in what's going on with this mother and this son?
I mean, I think the son ultimately, like, they had a really horrible divorce, and so he had a lot of adjustment issues as far as like adjusting to their new life, going back and forth. You know, for him, like, even in talking to him, and it was so much easier not to I couldn't let him bash his mom.
Right.
Like, I couldn't let him sit there and be like, my mom did this wrong and that wrong and this wrong and that wrong, and my dad's doing this and this and this and this and this. And what I found interesting is his dad was also mature enough to not bash mom.
That's important. I like when I was explaining earlier about the guy who was talking trash about the mother of his kids. First of all, it was two of them. Red flag number one. And then both of them are the B word. Come on now. Both of them.
And I think, but that's the important thing that I noticed that, and we even talked to, you know, I even sat down and talked with the parents, which is not something I normally do, but this kid had the opportunity to really get over some of the anger that he had. He was in the present because he's a teenager. They want instant gratification. Yeah. That's what they want. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he was still back in the shoulda, woulda, couldas. Like, my mom should have done da 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 da. My mom could have stopped this guy from coming at me the wrong way. My mom woulda da 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 da. But then what I also found interesting is that this particular mom, she was not willing to hear what we had to say. For her, it was, I want to live my life. I want to I spent years in a marriage where it was unhappy and this.
There's
I
the
want to be
problem.
with this man. Why
That's
can't
the
I be with
problem.
this man?
But she's trying to
That's the problem.
she's
That's the
trying to make
problem.
up. She's trying to make up for how we didn't we talk about that the other night? It's like you trying to
Mhm.
make up because I was
That
when I
is
was in
right.
Vegas yesterday. You trying to make up
That's
for
why
lost
I'm
time.
upset. Right.
You're trying to make up for lost time. And you can't do that because you have
Nope.
other people on the board playing the game as well. You can't do that. If you was by yourself, then have at it. But it's like you're trying to make up for this lost time. That's what I was just talking about yesterday with the fire. You know, it's like now I want to. It wasn't like I didn't want to live before, but it's like I gotta get it done. I gotta do this. I have to do this. It gotta get done. Like you're living off your. It's like I gotta pick up where I left off or what I didn't do. Let me see what I need to do next. You know, but you don't realize you're talking some children right there. You got a whole fast for.
Well, she said it. She said it, and I just went.
There's the
She said,
problem.
well, Shayna, like, I don't understand the problem that you have. I said, okay. Let me just I said, let me stop for a second because as a
Because your sister
mom,
was about to come out.
I have to take a deep breath
Ah,
because I said, I hear you and I understand what you're saying, but right now your son is saying to you, I don't have a good relationship with you right now. I want our relationship to be better. And what I hear you saying to this child is,
you don't care.
I want to live.
I don't
This
care
man
about
is
what
nice
you.
to me.
You told her in
That's
a
what.
professional tone.
Yeah, she didn't
So
tell her in the sister tone.
so here's the deal.
We don't do it, Valencia. Don't you do it?
I
Don't
had
do it.
to because the person. So like I'll use this analogy. I know people have seen Kill Bill with the Japanese girl. The man starts talking trash. She
Oh yeah,
gets
yeah,
up and
yeah.
she across the table and she slices the man's head off. And she said, "If anybody has anything that they want to say,
Yeah.
now is the time."
I ain't got nothing to say.
I
I'm
felt
all
like the Jap lady
right.
on the inside. Because
Mhm.
for me as a mom, like, I know that I have a fairly busy career. I know that there were sometimes I necessarily didn't spend some time with my kid, but golly, my kid is so much more important to me than a romantic relationship.
Mhm.
And you have a 16-year-old that is coming to you as a mama and
Oh,
saying to you,
she wants to say it. We're gonna have to put some
I
deep
want
buttons
this
on here too.
relationship, mom. Let's fix this. Bump daddy. I have a relationship with dad. I want a relationship with you. And I'm out because I really want to hear what she had to say because she could say what I couldn't say. So
All right.
go.
Okay. Let me turn my page on to the blank side so I can write down what this. I know it. It's coming. I just gonna say it.
I didn't know what else to say to her.
We're gonna let Valencia go ahead and train.
Why you gonna throw me in there?
We're gonna let Valencia translate that profession into Baltimore language. I can almost hear it in my head already. Go ahead, honey. Just
But
go ahead.
that's what you said though. But that's what you said. You said that right?
I said it. Oh
No,
Lord.
you said it right, Doctor
What did
Wade.
I
You
say?
said that. You said it in a professional manner though. That's
Mhm.
what you told.
Right.
Because what I really wanted to say is, look, lady, this is your child. Please make sure that you don't choose some dingling over your child.
Translation, Valencia.
Go on Adam and Eve, get that dildo that you can plug into the wall. Make sure you pay your Pepco bill and run it all night long. That's all the dick you need. Then throw it in the dishwasher. Get the one that go in your get the one that you can throw in the refrigerator. You can get it while you're cooking.
I'm done.
I mean, and I think it was the most baffling part because you have parents. You have parents that can't get it together, and we expect the kid to get it together.
All you
Right.
gotta do is call Adam and Eve. Get it. They got one that go on your refrigerator.
Priscilla,
and I felt so bad because
Wish.com.
all I could think about is all she had to do was go on Amazon.com and get this thing called Tracy's dog.
Tracy's dog.
Look it up.
Look it up.
What it
I
is.
told you I was gonna need to turn my paper.
That was easy.
How do you spell Tracy? Is that Tracey dog?
I'll tell you this much: it'll come up either way you type it.
Exactly.
That was easy.
I'm not saying as a mama she can't live her life. I'm not saying that.
Right, but it comes to a point where she has to do the balance. She has to do the balance. If you don't do the balance, you're gonna reap what you sow. He's 16 now. He might turn around and just dismiss her altogether down the line. My favorite word, ghost her.
Right. And then see, you have to work. See, this is where co-parenting is wonderful. When the relationship is healthy and both parents have an understanding that the children are the most important. Michael and I switch off weeks. This is my week. When these babies go with their daddy, I'm free to roam about and do whatever I want to without worrying about the safety of my children, worrying about them running into anybody in the late night hours. I ain't got to worry about all that because they're with their daddy and they're safe. And when they come back, hey, mommy, they all mine, I'm all theirs. That is how we roll. So I don't know what their daddy doing. He might be having an orgy fest over there. Hope he's having a good time. But his children are here safe with me.
Right, so but at the same time,
I want you here and get them.
And I'm not worried about what you got going on.
I don't care. Just be safe, brother. But I don't care. Do you, boo? But be here on Friday evening to get your cheer.
I can't do it, y'all.
It's a beautiful. I am blessed beyond measure when it comes to the person that I had children with. God knows. I can imagine going through some of the things that other parents are going through with trying to work through conflicts with their ex or significant others, and then people coming in and wanting to get to see. First of all, you ain't gonna come in and say nothing about my kid, and you ain't been there but a week. Like,
and that one.
Hold on.
Maybe there was a week.
The same thing. We don't let nobody come in your house or around my children, and you let them tell you how our kids.
Girl, people always be like, "You got a kid? I don't ever see your kid." Good, you don't need to.
You don't need to. It's not. You don't need to be.
Everybody that's in your circle don't need to be in your Indeed circle. No, they don't need to be there.
No. It's few of. It's just, especially when it comes to men, you gotta. And women,
especially when it comes to women.
Women can be a mess too, but I'm not. See, I'm not as leery. I could be. I'm leery about anybody, but you have to be extra careful. You have to pay attention to your intuition, and God has given us all intuition. When you feel that tinge and say, ain't no being around my kids. You ain't gonna be around my kids. Sorry.
Spelling.
So, I mean, it's especially when it comes to safety. You don't want the kid to be exposed to, you don't want it to be an unsafe situation.
Nakia, spell intuition. Some people don't even care.
Don't look it up on Google. Now, spell it. I-N-N-2. I-N-T-U and the rest of the letters.
T-I-O-N.
That was easy.
You hit the button. I'm telling you, man.
I got the button tonight. My hope is that I feel her. I understand where she's coming from. My hope is that she gets it together for her son, because right now, if he is saying something at 16, that doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't happen often with teenagers. They tell you one time, that's the end of it. I ain't coming back. I'm not going to see this chick. I mean, like he walks in, Miss Shada, how's it going? Da, da, da. She goes, why does he address you as Miss Shada? Because he know. He know. He can't come in here and disrespect me.
I just hope that she does. I really do hope.
I hope for her because the dad, like I said, this is one case where I see where the father, he really has stepped up and he really has been doing the darn thing and making sure that boy does not disrespect his mother. Because he'll say to her, oh, hold up now. You can say what you feel.
Now, we might have had a messy situation, but she's still your mama. That is what's important. You don't have to be all negative. See, I had some things down here that you shouldn't do in a co-parent.
You should say them.
And one of those things you shouldn't do is talk negative around your kids about their parents. First of all, it's going to do something to their psyche because they're not going to know what to do with those emotions. They're feeling some kind of way because you're upset, and then the dad is probably saying something, the mom says, so they don't know what to do, and they don't know whose side to be on, and you're confusing the child. It's not fair. Just shut your face. Quit talking negative around that child about his or her mama. Leave that, write it down in the book if you want to say something ugly, but don't say it around the kid. Let that child figure out for him or herself that their parents suck. They'll figure it out. I promise you, they'll figure it out.
They will.
And for parents who have those relationships where one of the parents just want to push your button, you know what that buttons to push, and they're just trying to get you riled up so you can make a response, a negative response to that. Don't get quiet. And see, that's what I've learned to do because people are used to me responding and lashing out. That's the old Nikiki. I put her in the cage. But she be wanting to come out. She be sometimes. And when I get quiet, now they go, oh, shit. You better go, oh, shit. And I'm not going to say nothing. Because if I do, your face going to be slashed with my tongue. It's just going to be an ugly situation. So I'd rather not look bad saying something unprofessional or ugly. I'll sit there. I'm going to let you think about what you just said. I'm going to let you think about what could have happened had the old me responded. I'm going to let you think about that. So that sometimes it's just good. You can scare a person when you don't respond because, see, they don't expect you to be quiet. They don't expect you not to say. They're looking for a reaction. But when you don't give them one, they're like, oh, hell, wait, whoa. Better not drink the coffee. Better not eat the food. Better go home tonight. So throw them off. Don't say nothing. If they're not doing what they agreed to do or what they said they were going to do, they ain't paying their child support. They're not coming to see the child. They're not calling the child when they say they were going to come and visit. Keep a record of it because you will have your proof. On this day, you agreed to come, and on this day, you did not show up. I haven't received my child support for our child in 3 months. Here's the record. I had to pay for this, that, and the other. When you agreed to pay, here are my receipts where you didn't help pay for anything. That type of stuff. And the one thing I would say to anybody, any parent, and it's something that, as I'm learning myself, you cannot solely depend on that other parent.
No, you can't.
Even if they're alive, you don't solely because what if something happens to that other parent? That other parent, God forbid, dies, something happened. Then what? You're gonna be left to take care of that child by yourself anyway. So instead of stressing yourself out, well, he ain't helped me, blah blah blah. Don't worry about what that person is not doing. You be the best parent you can be to your child as you possibly can. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be frustrating, but it's going to be more beneficial mentally and emotionally for both of you and the child.
Yep.
If you don't concentrate on what the other person is, that's our problem. We always worried about what somebody else isn't doing or what somebody else is doing. We gotta stop that. It's hard to do. It's hard because it's easier said than done. But I could tell you, it makes life a whole lot simpler, a whole lot easier, and a whole lot easier to move on. But I wanted to definitely say about boundaries. Let's talk about them boundaries. You ain't gonna show up at my house and acting a dang fool. You ain't gonna come in my house wanting to fuss and pick fights. You ain't gonna come in my house calling me all kind of names. You ain't gonna come in my house and act like you're gonna make it out of here after you done said all you said without limping. We're not gonna do that. You're gonna come in my house and you're gonna respect my space. Just like if I go to your house, I'm gonna respect your space. I'm not gonna go up in your house and act like I own stuff and talking all out the side of our neck about what you doing or what you ain't doing. That ain't none. You're out of your lane.
Mm-hmm.
When you make an agreement, stick with the agreement. Your boundary, the boundary, don't text me if it ain't got nothing to do with the child. You don't need to know where I'm going or where I've been. You don't need to know why I buy this or why I buy that. Ain't none of your business. If it don't have nothing to do with the kid, keep it moving. It could be simple. But if people would just stay in the proper lane, work within their confines, do what they are supposed to do, and not worry so much about what another. I know I'm saying this and it's rolling off my tongue, but I know in reality it's hard, it's difficult to actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be done, or else the children are going to be damaged. And we don't want to damage our children in any way. So that's my spiel about co-parenting. There's so many other things that we can talk about, especially going into new relationships. We could talk about that in the proper time. It's so many things that we can talk about, but I think we hit on some of the basic stuff.
Yeah.
So that was easy. We going out to get us some buttons, honey. We're gonna have to go get us some buttons because she don't come up here with the whole that was easy button. I just feel all left out. Like I need to go get
and
my
you gotta look up the other thing.
Oh, I ain't look. You want me to look it up right now? You
No,
said
have to
who's
look it up right now.
Oh,
if you look it up right now, you'd be like, "Oh Lord."
okay. Well, let me wait because I don't want to accidentally put it on the live and be we don't want to be embarrassed like that. But we'll we'll just I'll just wait till after the live broadcast. I want to keep it touch as much as possible. We having a good time with these broadcasts for this week. It really has been fun and informative and kind of just what it is. So even with all the technical difficulties, it's still been really informative, and I've enjoyed having both of you on. It's been really. I cannot wait to do more. I would like for this to become a regular thing, where we have these just different conversations related to life. I think that'll be a really good thing to do. Because a lot of people are going through things, and a lot of us are feeling a little alone and isolated, and just not having that support system. And so, I really feel like this platform has helped us reach a lot of other people across the United States, and I'm hoping we can reach more. Shayna, do you have any updated um, resources for?
Yeah, I do actually. I have two. I sent you one. One is a former coworker that I used to have. Her practices faith, prosperity, and change. And her she does mental health services, addiction services. And it's her website is havefaithandtherapy.com.
Right.
And she's also on Facebook as well.
Okay.
And then I have one other one. Hold on. And both of these ladies are African American therapists
Mm-hmm.
and are doing oh, hold on. Are doing very, very well and are very, very, very talented young ladies in
Mm-hmm.
what they do. Well, women, excuse me, they're not young ladies, women in what they do.
All right. So
Um,
I got the faith prosperity one. Okay. So
and then,
have faith in therapy.com, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at the other one. She's gonna get me. Um, because I'm trying to find the name of her stuff.
While you find the name for her, I'm going to go ahead and go
Oh, I
through.
got it.
You got it?
researchtrianglecounseling.com.
Is that all spelled out? RTC, Research
I
Triangle.
think it's all spelled out. researchtrianglecounseling.com.
Okay. Valencia, do you have any resources in your area?
Yeah, I have a lot of them. I'm gonna have to send them to you.
Okay. That
Um,
way I can put them
cause
in the chat. Okay.
yeah.
All right. No worries. So I have Carolina Behavioral Care. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week establishment here in Durham. They have different agencies under that umbrella. The number is 844-534-7208. And they do provide telehealth visits. There's also Walltown Clinic on Broad Street here in Durham. They offer free to a sliding scale payments for people who would like to get services. Their number is 919-416-1254. Sunflower Counseling. It's also based on your income as well. They offer services from $25 to $150. Their number is 770-728-3990. And if you are computer savvy, you don't mind doing having your business online, you can go to www.top10.com. Excuse me, I'm sorry. www.top10.com/online therapy. They offer pride counseling. Um, they have, I think, BetterHelp is there. And I think BetterHelp has its own website as well. Onlinetherapy.com. Regain uh, is a is good for couples. They have faithful counseling for Christians. Talkspace is a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Health Sapiens, which is also a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation, and teen counseling. If you or anyone you know is having thoughts of suicide, please, my God, please call 1-800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255, or you can visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. And those are some of the resources I have. And I don't want to forget to that if you live in the Durham area or anywhere, you can go to the DurhamSkyWriter.com. Visit her page. She has information about what's going on here in Durham and surrounding areas. She also has an information resource page for health and wellness. You can find lots of information on her site. So please make sure you visit DurhamSkyWriter.com. It's operated by Miss Patricia Murray. She lives here in Durham. So, y'all, we have come to the end of another successful event for tonight regarding co-parenting. We've given out a lot of information. We've shared different perspectives. It's been fun night, Miss, with the whole button that she done brought it. We knew you were gonna come with something. We knew it. You done brought a whole button. So now we all encouraged to go find us if that was easy button, because yeah, that'll be real good to do when we hit a profound, make a profound statement or say something that's real important. Boom, that was easy. I like that. I love it. But we're going to end the broadcast. We appreciate Valencia. Thank you so much for coming on, honey. And I hope that
Love it. Thank you.
hope if you have some time tomorrow, you'll be back to have a discussion.
What we
Tomorrow is
talking about tomorrow?
so tomorrow is just like I call it Friday frustrations. But I mean, and I left it open. It's kind of like a free for all. I wanted to hear from essential workers, teachers, parents, guardians. It doesn't matter even if you're single, whatever you're going through that's affecting your mental and emotional health. We want to talk about it. We want to let people know that, hey, there's other people going through some of the same situations that you are, and maybe you can find ways to get a different perspective of how to handle whatever it is you're going through at the time. So yeah, it's kind of a open kind of conversation about different things. And so, I mean, we can talk about the whole virtual school situation. I can't tell you how frustrating. That's a horse of a different color, but those are the types, dealing with working at home and trying to do virtual school, and I done turned into the lunch lady, the PE teacher, the daggone bus rider. I mean, and it's not just me, their dad is doing the same thing, so it's just been trying to keep up with the teacher's aid. So and your IT, like you said last night, Shannon, we IT too, so we getting a whole lot. We got a whole lot of jobs that we have now, and I don't see no extra pay coming in my bank account. I'm just like, wait a minute, can we get some teacher assistants?
Or you're on telemedicine or a Zoom meeting, and you see a little head come up from behind you.
Mommy, what you doing?
Right.
It will happen. Tay is back for that. Mommy, I wanted to show you something, but I'm working, baby. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be back. Oh my Lord.
Or mine goes, hey, people.
Yeah. They want to be in on the meeting and stuff. But I mean, that comes with the territory. And so, but those are the type of things we'll be talking about tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But we'll see you tomorrow, and you have yourself a wonderful night. We love you. We look forward to talking to you.
Love you too.
All right. See you, David. So there you have it, everybody. Tonight, Stop Stigma series for National Mental Illness Week has brought to you another conversation, a good, important topic, and it was about co-parenting. And there's the example I was giving to you. You can't, this one. And it's, okay, so you're lucky. So it's time for her to go to bed. Leave my face alone. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate everything. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure you contact me. My website, if you would like to have emotional intelligence coaching or you need emotional support, please go to my website, www.kimcess.com. That's KIMCESS.com. You can also email me at stopstigma@gmail.com. My phone number, professional number, is 919-964-0546. And again, thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you guys again tomorrow night. And until next time, no matter what,
just keep it moving.
Yeah, what she said.